All right, and we're back. Episode 18. This is the 3BP meets DTF segment, fantasy football talk, sports talk. We're here with Eric Brown from Doing the Favor. Eric, how you doing?
Listen, dude, I'm doing better than I was last week because we are one sleep away as we record on Wednesday, the 6th, September 6th. We are fucking one sleep away from NFL football. Fellas, we have football every weekend until February. Okay?
Oh, yep.
College, NFL, gambling. It's all on the table now. I've done kissed my family goodbye. I'm sure Lily's going to grow well and during this time away. I wish them luck in their endeavors during that time. But I'm locked in, boys. I am locked the fuck in.
He's gonna come out of his office with a full beard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited. I cannot wait to get football started.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Gonna be a good season. I can feel it. Feel it in my bones.
Kick it off tomorrow with the Chiefs and the Lions, right?
Chiefs and Lions.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, and that's actually a great place for us to start. Because I know your show drops on Thursdays, and a lot of people hopefully listen to this before then. Big news with the Travis Kelce deal, right? Big news.
Yeah.
Went down with a knee yesterday at practice. Kind of a no contact injury type deal, I guess. That's what everybody was saying. And everyone feared the worst, right? And fantasy drafts have already happened. The season's about to start, 2 days away. Turns out it was just a bone bruise, no structural damage. He may possibly play week 1. I don't know how much invested interest I'd put into him week 1 in like a FanDuel situation, but I do think he's safe to draft as of now if you have any fantasy drafts left. But that game on Thursday is going to be an exciting one. I think it's going to be high scoring. I believe the Lions are the Chiefs are favored by 5.5, and the over's around 42.5. I like the Lions money line. I like the Lions to win, especially if you don't get a full Kelce. And I like the over a lot in that game too. So this is one of the things where people are counting Detroit out. It's a big spotlight for them, and I think that they got a chance to make a statement. Dan Campbell's going to have them fired up.
So you think the Lions can win outright?
Absolutely. I think they can win outright. I think that we have some adjustments on still with we have no Chris Jones for Kansas City. I should have talked about that as well. But when you have that pass rusher in the interior part of the defensive line, excuse me, that really helps your backside of the defense a lot. So when you're not getting that pressure on the quarterback, a quarterback like Jared Goff, and you allow him to get comfortable back there, it could be a long day. So that's why I think it's going to be a shootout. And I do like the Lions to bust out and maybe possibly. That's my upset pick of the week, actually. So, yeah, I'm picking the Lions. I already put money down on it.
I wasn't expecting that, huh?
Yeah. No.
Wow.
Yeah. Upset of the week. Detroit. Well, that's okay. Detroit can still win, but Ann Arbor is, still a whore. But so you think they could win with or without Kelce?
It depends on how limited. If he's very limited, he's such a big part of their offense. That would mean you'd have to have Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Isaac Pacheco all step up. I don't know if that's – I think they have a role and they fill their role nicely. I don't know if either one's going to step up and be like the bell cow for the day for the offense. So, yeah, I think that if you have a less than 100% Travis Kelce and a no Chris Jones at all, then I do think I like the Lions in this game. I really do. I think they've gotten better since last year as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, hearing that kind of makes me more excited to watch it because I didn't think that people were thinking highly of the Lions coming into this season, especially into this game. So that kind of gives me it's the first football game of the year. I'm going to watch it regardless, but that just gets me a little bit more pumped up. You know what I'm saying?
The Lions are one of those teams that they're a darling right now, right? They almost made the playoffs last year. They have a great coach they play hard for. They have a franchise quarterback, I believe, in Jared Goff. I do think, at least for a couple more years, and I don't know if the sky is the limit necessarily, but I do think we can see some playoff football in Detroit this year. It's very possible.
Damn.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this game now.
It'll be a fun one to watch. Just for those of you who are thinking like I did that it's going to be on Amazon, it's not going to be on Amazon, but almost all the rest of the Thursday night games will be on Amazon. So this one is on like local TV or something like that.
Good to know. I did not know that. I was thinking Amazon, so that's good.
Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
So you guys want to talk about maybe some before we start talking about games? maybe some fantasy guys that we like going into week one. You know, if you're playing the FanDuel, the three Brews podcast FanDuel contest, which you all hopefully are,
Mhm.
you know, getting in with us to see who's going to hit for week one. I got some picks of my own that I kind of want to go through a little bit with you guys. You know, I'm just looking here. I know I just picked the Lions. If you're doing Thursday night FanDuel, I said it's going to be a high scoring game. I like both quarterbacks in that game. I really do. I think it's going to be one of those games. Also, I love Herbert against the Dolphins. And surprisingly, I like Anthony Richardson. I think that before we get a real big book on him, we could see some early season success. So for the quarterback matchups, that's who I like. I don't like Burrow against the Browns.
Not at all.
No,
Nope.
neither do I.
Good
He's
luck.
traditionally struggled against them. Josh Allen versus the Jets, I might probably take a pass on in a FanDuel situation. You know, and surprisingly too, this is another one. Aaron Rodgers. I don't think it's going to be a smooth sailing in New York as everyone makes it out to be. These quarterback changes, where you're implementing a new offense with a new offensive coordinator, tend to take a little bit of time, and you're going against an established Buffalo Bills team.
Mm.
So I do think that we could have a shit game. It's going to be all the headlines Tuesday morning, but I don't think the Jets are going to do well. So I would stay away from possibly Aaron Rodgers in that situation.
Mhm.
Anybody I left off? Maybe you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, get in.
So somebody who I think could possibly do well is Brock Purdy. I think he's back now for San Francisco because he was. I feel like he was really lighting it up at the end of last year before like he got sidelined with that injury and they got fourth out of the playoffs. Or
Who does San Fran have?
Brock Purdy.
Pittsburgh.
I mean, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh.
Okay, yeah, I can see that being a.
I'm not. I don't really know. I haven't done much research as far as like the Pittsburgh defense and how they're doing, but I just think based on how well Brock Purdy was able to make the offense in San Francisco run last year when he was healthy, and now that he's had like a full offseason as like the starter for them, because he was like Mr. Irrelevant, I think, when they drafted him, and he basically
he was.
so. He is he like as good as is he the next Tom Brady? We don't know, but I'm excited to see him play.
One guy that I'm looking out for too is Lamar Jackson going against the Texans defense with that new. He's got Odell.
That's who I was going to bring up. I just looked at the schedule and I thought that I don't know much about Houston, but Lamar. I mean, what do we think about Lamar, Eric? Going into week one.
You know what I think? Do you know what I think about Lamar? I think that you're talking about 3,800 passing yards, just under 1,000 yards rushing for the season. Historically, he starts off the season fast. So, Ryan, I love that pick. Going against a Texans team that earned the second overall pick in the draft last year with a rookie quarterback. So you could see a lot of 3 and outs. You could see a lot of time possession for the Ravens, who love to pound the ball as well with Lamar. So, yeah, Ryan, I love that pick.
Yeah, I don't think the Texans defense is gonna know how to stop them. They got between Lamar's legs and Dobbins' legs, and then Lamar's ability to throw, especially with Odell in that slot with those quick slants that he's known for. Man, he could just light up the middle of the field pretty well. And then a game that I'm looking forward to is the Buccaneers and the Vikings. I think that's gonna be a pretty fun game to watch.
You want to watch?
See, this is your Baker Mayfield dick ride.
Yeah, this is it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Because literally no one else other than maybe Vikings fans want to watch that game.
Well, I don't know. I think between Kirk Cousins and Baker, the weapons that each team has, they got Jefferson on the Vikings, we got Godwin on the Bucks. I think we can see some pretty offensive plays, some pretty good ones.
Yeah, anytime a quarterback is on his his fourth team in 3 years.
Yeah, don't mess it up.
Gotta have confidence in him, right?
Yeah.
No, wasn't his fault.
So as far as
never is
quarterbacks go, how are you looking at Jalen Hurts, who goes against the Patriots, I believe, week one?
Him up too.
So Jalen Hurts, another sexy fantasy pick. Listen, they have the best offensive line in the NFL, right? And Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. So you're talking about a guy who 4th and 1, they're going to get that. And that's going to lead to short yardage rushing touchdowns. The weapons he has with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith at wide receiver, I mean,
crazy.
And they took him to the Super Bowl last year. I mean, this dude, he could win you a fantasy week any given week.
Yeah, that's who I
Top
was.
on the actual rushing yards and stuff. My hot take on Jalen Hurts, and this is going to be, I'll be called a homer, and this probably could be a controversial take on your show. I think Justin Fields is better.
I was
I
just
really
about
do.
to ask
I
about
think
him.
I think if you put Justin Fields in that Eagles offense, if you put Jalen Hurts in that Bears offense, I think Justin Fields has more success than what Jalen Hurts would have. I think you have a guy who is a better runner, who is a better thrower. Jalen Hurts, the intangibles of leadership and things like that are incredible. The status, the type of human being he is. You definitely want that as a face of your franchise, but Fields isn't far off that. And I honestly think that I hope the Bears get in a situation where we can see his talent flourish, because we saw the kid run for 1,100 yards in 16 games last year on a team that earned the number one pick.
Yeah.
And that's insane. So to me, I couldn't fathom somebody drafting Trey Lance over him. Still blows my mind to this day. I was at that draft. It was in Cleveland, and just blows my mind. So Justin Fields, I love, obviously.
And he got.
I think that
Justin Fields goes against
The
Green Bay.
Packers defense, yeah.
I don't.
rivalry game.
Yeah.
Rivalry game.
Week
no
one,
Aaron
too.
Rodgers. Bears looking to get their comeuppance. So yeah, I like that. Let's talk about a running back I like in week one. Kind of a sleeper pick. And this is another one that's probably going to surprise people. But again, capable of a very big game. And that's Rasheem Mostert with the Dolphins. Okay. Now listen, they have Jeff Wilson and a running back that they drafted, a young kid, out. So he's the clear lead back this week, right? Tua will be dumping the ball off to him. They will run screens with him. He's a straight line speed guy. One cut go. So they run an offense where he's going to break loose. I mean, he could 85-yard touchdown run, something that happens to this guy. You know what I mean? When he's healthy and he gets opportunities. And that's going to be week one. He's going to be healthy. He's going to have opportunities. Would I recommend this week 8? No, he's not very durable. They tend to have a rotation down there. But yeah, I like Jeff Wilson a lot.
What do you think? Is Josh Jacobs healthy?
Again, a guy who wasn't in training camp. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I know
led the league in rushing last year. But anytime a guy, look, it's the new NFL, so we're going to see more of this. So that's a risk. That's a risk. We don't know what his workload is going to look like week one. We don't know if they're going to ease him in. I don't know who else they have down there off the top of my head, but yeah, depending on how much he costs in a FanDuel situation, FanDuel DraftKings, we do FanDuel. So FanDuel, depends on how much he would cost. They might overvalue him just because he led the league in rushing. Like, I'm not going to pay a guy $10,000 for a guy that I don't know how many touches he's going to get. Yeah. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, this is more of this is my first FanDuel type style for season, but is this the type of thing where you would think about handcuffing a running back duo, or do you think it's better to just take two completely different teams?
Two completely different teams, because you can't count on injury. You don't know what's going to happen, obviously. So once the lineup's set, they set. But yeah, I try to separate my team, even as far as running backs, wide receivers. I try to go different, because there's only one football on an offense, right?
Right.
So, but if there's two games going, if I have a receiver going each game, he can get the ball at the same time. So that's kind of how I view it. So, not many guys are going to get 12 targets a game on the same team. You know what I mean? So what we're looking for in FanDuel is what I preach is value and volume, right? Where can I get the most volume for the money that I'm spending? Who's going to get the most opportunities for the least amount of money after I spend money on my superstars? That to me that's where the gold is.
That makes sense.
And then we're talking about running backs. Who's your running back that you're looking at not taking? You won't even touch. Like the top of the line running back, you're not even going to think about.
Nick Chubb. No, I'm just kidding.
Dalvin Cook or Brees Hall.
Oh.
I don't know what that Jets. This is back to me shitting on the Jets. I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I don't know how up to speed Dalvin Cook is with the offense with him just getting there not too long ago. Brees Hall coming off an ACL injury from last year. Was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. So he's another one. Another one, too, is Jamal Williams down the Saints. I know a big free agent signing. I think last year was a little bit of a revelation for him. I don't know if he's going to, score. It was like 18 touchdowns or something ridiculous he scored last year. His new role in the Saints against a tough run defense for Tennessee, I don't see. He's a power runner, and that's kind of their specialty. So I don't see him having a great week either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you see for running backs, as I'm looking at the schedule here, 3 running backs come to mind: Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, and Zeke Elliott.
Hard pass on Zeke. I think he's going to be a situational short yardage back. He could get you some good touchdown numbers here and there, but I think you're so touchdown reliant on him that I don't know if I love it. You named Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, I love Christian McCaffrey. You're going to get tons of volume. Again, he's going to be very expensive. Yeah, that's another guy. Like, you got to pick 2 running backs. He's going to be $10,000 or $11,000. You're going to go with like a $5,000 guy after that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's going to be a big investment in FanDuel. Who was the other running back?
Najee Harris.
Najee Harris. That's the one I want to talk about. I think people are buying way, 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 way too high on Najee Harris. I think it's going to be more of a split backfield in Pittsburgh. I think Jalen Warren, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. I think Jalen Warren's going to get a lot more touches than what people think. You got to think, a lot of these running backs, okay, that come from Alabama, that come from these major schools, that yada, yada, and plus heavy volume his first 2 years in the league. There's a lot of tread off those tires already.
Yeah.
A lot of tread off those tires. Jalen Warren, not so much.
Right.
So that, to me, and if Jalen Warren gets in a situation where he's more explosive, the offense is moving better when he's out there, he's able to break 15, 20 yards run where Najee can't, that's going to be the move. So I think, and this isn't just me being this, I've praised the Steelers last week. So I try to be, I'm not sold on Najee Harris. I'm just not. I think his best days are behind him, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't root for that. He's a young kid, but
Right.
NFL's cruel like that.
It is. Yeah. It is not a
Not
a player-friendly league.
Yeah, I'm looking at the actually FanDuel right now. You can enter and make your picks.
For tomorrow?
Yeah, McCaffrey. Well, for Sundays, our league, McCaffrey is sitting at the highest costing running back at 9,000.
That's crazy. Higher than Chubb, huh?
Yeah, Chubb's the 3rd highest.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
question for
yeah.
you.
So Chubb is probably the 5th or 6th fantasy running back as far as, and even FanDuel's not PPR, it's half PPR. So it does kind of close that gap a little bit. But Nick Chubb doesn't catch a lot of balls out of the backfield.
Yeah, no.
That's the difference, right? Obviously yards per carry, touchdown, yardage is there on the offense side. But again, when you get a running back who doesn't catch balls out of the backfield, you become, what I said earlier, touchdown reliant, right?
Yeah.
So 100 yards is only 10 points, right? So you need that 100 yards and a touchdown to make it 16.
Right.
That's the difference.
Now, how do you think Chubb's going to perform against the Bengals week 1?
Great. Historically, he plays great against the Bengals. The Browns have always matched up well against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's one of the most dangerous teams in the NFL. They really are. But for whatever reason, they've never been able to handle Myles Garrett. They really struggle with Clowney as well. And now we have Zadarius Smith and Dalvin Tomlinson on the defensive
Shelby.
line.
Our whole defensive line is nuts.
So the thing with the Bengals is you need to beat them by getting pressure with your front 4, right? Mm-hmm. You can't have a bunch of exotic blitzes and stuff because Burrow will kill you. Mm-hmm. So you have to rush forward, drop 7. You have to. If there's 3 beast wide receivers, he likes to dump in the mix, and you have to keep everything in front of you because they will get behind you and they will score fucking quick, and that shit will get out of hand fast.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with the whole Browns Bengals matchup this weekend. I do think that Nick Chubb will do well. Historically, he's always done well against the Bengals.
Right. All right. Well, if you were to pick, like, who would your bang for the buck, like, lockdown pick be for this week? It can be whatever position, a defense, anything. Like, who, if you had to make one choice, what would it be?
I would have to. I'm trying to look up the FanDuel list really quick here. so I can give you a good answer to that question.
For the defense.
Anything.
Let me see what I can find here.
I know mine.
Actually, McCaffrey at 9,000 doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
You know, that's a high. That's to me. That's what it is. A fantasy.
Yeah, he's looking at
I'm sorry.
9,200 for FanDuel.
Nick Chubb's probably good. How much is Nick Chubb, Ty?
8,600.
Not bad. Not bad. So I apologize, fellas. I wasn't expecting that. I'm trying to find my fan.
Yeah, no worries.
All good. Joe Mixon is.
That's somebody that's fell off after a good couple of years too. Now I'm looking at Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He's fallen down a little bit.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, Nick Chubb,
against-
8'6".
If you wanted to, Eric, if you want to break this down for, I don't know if people are listening and don't know, when you're looking at a player to select, on the right-hand side of the app, it'll say, let me read it, like FPPG, and then played, and then OPRK. Those are the categories. I don't know if you want to break that down and give everybody a rundown of what that means. Because I know we got some new people in FanDuel doing it for the first time, so it might be a little confusing seeing all these numbers, these abbreviations.
Yeah, I have no idea what that would mean.
So I'm looking at it right now. I finally have it up. I apologize, fellas.
No worries.
You know, so basically you have the fantasy points per game, you have the games they played last year, and the opponent's defensive rank from last year, right? So Jalen Hurts going against the Patriots, for example, he's a $9,000 player. He averaged 25.75 last year. He played in 18 games, I says, and the opponent has a 21st ranked defense. So that's him. As far as quarterbacks go here, I can get back to your question now, AJ. I apologize for that. I wasn't prepared. Love Deshaun Watson for 7,400. Really do. I think that, you know, he's a low value play right now because of the performance he had last year, the time off, yada, yada, yada. So 7,400, not bad. Also, I think it's going to be a little bit of a shootout against the Chargers. So Tua at 7,700, again, not bad at all. So that's really good. As far as running backs go, again, week one's a season where no one really knows. These values are going to change dramatically as we get more into this. But, you know, Ramondre Stevenson at 7,000, and I go down here a little bit more, and you see Brian Robinson Jr., the lead back down, and he's going to get a lot of touches for the Commanders. He's at 6,400, which I think is a really good value. So that's great. And then, you know, depending on what you think about the the Packers backfield, A.J. Dillon, only 6,100. And Mostert, who I named earlier, only 5,900. So that's a pretty sexy one right there. As far as wide receivers go, so, okay. He's going to be expensive, but if Jalen Waddle doesn't play, Tyreek Hill, $8,800. That is not terrible. Calvin Ridley, 7,000. I think we're going to have a bounce-back season this year. We're going against the Colts, who were god-awful last year. So I think that Calvin Ridley is a very good value right there. And then I'm trying to find his name here, but Marvin Mims for the Broncos. I'm sorry, let's do Cortland Sutton for the Broncos too. 5,900, not bad. You have Jerry Jeudy possibly out. So good right there. I'm going to move on to tight ends right now. Sorry if I'm going very fast. But our boy Njoku, 5,600.
Yeah.
5,600. That's a really good value. Dolchich for the Broncos, a little bit of an unknown commodity, 5,300. And Cole Kmet at 5,200. So I like those a lot. And as far as defenses go, I mean, it's just like it doesn't even really matter because the best one's 5,000, and then they go, you know what I mean? And then it's like 4,900, 4,800. Right. So defense isn't going to cost you much. But as far as a defensive matchup this week, I like. Listen, the Cardinals are going to be fucking terrible.
Yeah.
The Cardinals they're trying to be the worst team in the NFL.
For sure.
That's their goal this year. They want to draft Caleb Williams. So I love the Commanders' defense. I love basically and a lot of other plays against the Cardinals throughout the season. If you're playing fantasy football, you know, boys, I'm explaining to you, streaming the defense means you just pick a new defense off the waiver wire every week. I would look to stream defenses against the Cardinals, clearly, and then some other bad teams will develop. Well, obviously they'll pop up here.
Right.
I'm trying to look through here. What other team's gonna be fucking god awful?
The Browns. No.
I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
Texans. Well,
Texans are gonna be bad.
They got what's his face? Bryce Young, right?
They got Stroud.
Oh, CJ Stroud. That's right.
You're talking about rookie quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
You know, anytime you're going against a rookie quarterback, if you ever get Bill Belichick against a rookie quarterback, they're going against the fucking the Ravens. I might love that Ravens defense too.
Yeah, they're
That's
ranked
why
number
the Ravens
one.
defense is. That's why they're ranked number 1 this week.
Yeah.
Because they play Houston. That's why Commanders are ranked number 2 because they play the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
So those rankings are going to be pretty much based off of matchups, unless the defense is completely inept. So that's how that's going to look consistently.
I'd like to point out that the Vikings are ranked number 3 and they're going against Baker Mayfield.
Well, it's
That's not
game
Baker's
one.
fault.
It's
That's
game
the
one.
rest of the
yeah, it's the
offense's
rest
fault.
of the team.
No.
It's based off the Buccaneers defense.
All right.
You mean the rest of their offense?
No, the defense for not stopping the Vikings offense.
So the one thing I've gathered from, and I'm sorry, Ryan, the Baker Bros, is it's never Baker's fault.
No, dude, never.
He's never done anything wrong.
Dude, that
He
game.
hasn't led the NFL. He hasn't led the NFL in interceptions since he joined the NFL.
No.
Oh wait, he has.
No. His receivers led the NFL in drops and tip balls. That's what it just like it's all Landry's fault, that Christmas game against the Packers. He should not have had like 3 interceptions. That's all I'm saying.
It was 4.
Whatever.
It was 4.
The 4th one didn't count. That was just a gimme.
Well, we'll go away from Baker, thank God. But
I'm wearing a
Kinda-
Baker jersey next week.
piggybacking off of AJ's question about doubling up, do you have a quarterback and receiver combo you're looking at the most?
Ooh, Ty, you're really good. I like that question.
No, he's not.
Let me see here.
See, for me,
Man, one that's sneaky, I think a lot of people are sleeping on, is Justin Fields and DJ Moore.
Ooh,
I forgot
just
they
'cause
got DJ Moore.
A lot of people have. And let me see how much DJ Moore costs here. As I scroll down, as I keep scrolling down, he is $6,300.
Yeah.
So you could have, and then Fields. So that's 6,300. Fields is 8,300. So you can have your connection right there for 14.6, and keep it pushing.
pretty cheap.
You know what I mean? So that's Ty. That's a really good question because that's a really good affordable way of looking at that. If you go to like the best receiver in the league, it's affordable to put Jefferson and Kirk Cousins together, possibly. Kirk Cousins is 7,500, where Jefferson is 9,500.
95.
So
yeah.
not quite the value you're getting with Fields. But you're talking about Justin Jefferson, who's potentially number 1 overall player in fantasy. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, obviously always sexy. If Jalen Waddle doesn't play, he's questionable with an oblique. Tua to Tyreek Hill could shoot up as well.
You think Tua's gonna get back to how he was?
Tua's a baller, man. I really do think so. I was not a Tua fan coming out of college. I was not a Tua fan his first year. I did not think he was going to be him. It just shows you, man. If you get the right coach, the right structure, and the right mindset in the organization, you can get the most out of your players, and that's something that Mike McDaniel's been able to tap into Tua like that.
Cool. See, I'm glad I asked that question because I got some potential picks lined up now.
You said we could start making picks now? Because I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
you can enter now if you want to.
One of our players had his picks picked like before last Friday, I feel like. And I asked him, I was like, why did you make your picks with like 165 hours left to go before any of these games start? Like, you have no idea what's going to happen between now and then.
Was that Ricky?
And Ty,
Yeah.
just so you know, I have the first pick in the Outlaw Mud Show League.
Oh, do you? I haven't taken a look at that yet. Hold on.
Now, here's
You
the
have the
question for
second
this.
I got second.
Yep.
For FanDuel, so say I draft, I'm just gonna not spoil any of my secrets. Brian Hoyer. Say I draft Brian Hoyer. If AJ wanted to draft Brian Hoyer, could he also draft the same players?
Yes.
Okay.
It's it's an open pool to everybody. This isn't like a traditional draft where I draft a team, you draft a team, Ty drafts a team, AJ drafts a team off the same board.
Okay.
No. Every pail is available to you. The key to the game is who does the best at dispersing their $60,000 and getting the most points.
Not me.
That's the name of the game. And
Yeah.
that is, listen, you're going to have a week where, like, I'm putting all my money in Christian McCaffrey, and he goes down the third play.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That happens. Or, you put in a guy for $5,000 and just to fill your roster out, and he scores 2 touchdowns.
Right.
It happens.
It's
So
it's a fun concept, especially considering like it's a weekly change. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
every week's
And you
different.
can do it with individual games as well. So last year, I'll tell a story. Me and my dad, we did the Giants Cowboys, I believe it was during Thanksgiving. It was the Giants and Cowboys in Thanksgiving last year, and we're filling out the roster. And when you do single games, you only pick 5 people, right? You pick, however you disperse those 5 people, and then one of those guys gets 1.5 times points. So that's your MVP. So he picked a guy named Richie James because he had like $5,200 left, and that guy cost $5,200. That's it. Richie James scored like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and my dad won like 3.
Wow.
And he finished I think he finished 4th out of like 300 people,
Oh, there you go.
and won like $200 or some shit.
Damn.
So, yeah,
Happy
it
Thanksgiving
was
to him.
awesome.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did a lot of that, and I believe we actually did. We did a little bit of NBA too last year or the year before, which is fun to dip into because NBA has games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun to play. But that's the NBA season. We're in the NFL.
Yeah. Get that basketball talk out of here.
While we're switching sports real quick, I saw that baseball in your hand. We wanted to bring this up earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Your thoughts on Tito?
Possibly retiring at the end of the season.
You know, as much as I hate to see him go, he's my favorite Cleveland manager of all time for that baseball organization. I don't like to see him struggling with his health every year.
Yeah.
It's sad to see. Tito's a Hall of Fame manager.
Mm-hmm.
He's an even better baseball man. What he did, the stability he brought to that organization, and had them perennially in contention every year when the payroll was consistently low. The Guardians are going to miss him because the organization has leaned on Tito to pull the most out of the talent that he's been provided with every single year.
Yeah.
And he's given us some great experience with that. But at the end of the day, can't do it. 162 games is a grind, fellas.
Yeah.
Even if you're just coaching, there's still travel. And on top of that, the stress that man lives.
Yeah.
The stress of a big league baseball manager, and those guys are unique too because they're real fickle, right? They're not happy unless they're unhappy.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't have a baseball team to manage, they don't have something to be pissed off about. They're pissed off about that.
Yeah.
They're only happy when they're disgruntled about whatever baseball things go on in their life at that moment.
Yeah.
So that takes a toll on a person, because baseball's a game where you fail a lot.
Yeah.
You boys got something going on in there? What's
Dude,
going on?
We just see this guy taking
been
laps.
walking around the block like,
It's probably like the 7th time we've seen him pass the door.
shut the door.
Yeah, full disclosure, I'm having a basement renovated where we actually did the podcast, so we're in the garage, finished garage, whatever. And we got the door
nice.
open, and this guy is just lapping this
Yeah.
block.
He's getting free listens.
Yeah.
You better subscribe, pal.
Yeah. And he's getting faster every lap, too, which is funny.
It is going to suck seeing Tito gone, though. That's going to be weird. I think after, what did we say? It was 11 seasons?
11
I
seasons.
think
You know
it's
what's going to
11.
suck? It's going to suck going to a game, waiting by the gate, and seeing him zip off on his moped.
Yeah.
That's going to suck.
I could see the Guardians offering him like a type of advisory role where he can still have a hand in the team, but not necessarily have to travel and
Manage the whole
handle all that. But
I hope so.
all right.
One last
anything else you
question.
wanna-
Yeah. We kind of talked about, you said you were really looking forward to Thursday Night Football. Let's go to Sunday. Take away the Browns fandom because obviously, but most anticipated football game Sunday, where'd you head at? And then the least anticipated as well.
Least anticipated be Carolina, Atlanta.
Yeah,
Okay,
who wants to
yeah.
watch that?
You know what? I don't give a fuck about the Bucks either.
Well, yeah, that's where you're at. All right, this one's over.
but
Thanks.
But Sunday Night Football, Dallas and the Giants. You got Rucker against Barry Frost. That is always enjoyable. But yeah, when those two teams get together in a primetime situation, it is going to be a fucking blast. So I can't wait for that one.
I will be keeping a close eye on that just for our friendly rivalry between Barry Frost and good old Rucker. That's always a fun one.
What team do you got winning that one?
Probably the Giants.
Ooh.
It all depends on what version of Dak Prescott you get, in my opinion.
I think the Giants. I think the Giants. I do. I think that they've gotten better. I don't know if Dallas really has necessarily, but we'll see. It's week 1. You don't know. But I'm leaning the Giants on that one.
All right, picks are in.
Like they say, any given Sunday. So
Yes.
who knows?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to chatting with everybody throughout the whole day about everything going on. Keep my eyes glued on FanDuel, fantasy. I can't wait.
It'll be a fun time.
For sure. Yeah. I can't wait to yell at my kid because I'm getting mad at the game.
Yeah.
I can't say I've been there.
This will be Connor's first season where he's like old enough to like support himself and watch. Because now he will watch TV. So I'll be yelling at the Browns doing something stupid, and then inevitably I will shut the TV off and probably put on like Bluey or Miss Rachel for him or something.
Fun fact: I was playing Madden, and I threw an interception with Deshaun Watson. I was like, "You fucking idiot!" And Bryce was like, "Fucking idiot!" Oh, he's got it. He's got it.
Yeah,
got it.
He's good.
Dominic's actually excited to watch the Browns this year. So I'm 6 years old. I can't wait to have
Good.
Dominic's just sitting
You
beside
kinda-
me watching the Browns.
Are you
his
sure you want to
heartbreak.
ruin his
Yeah,
life
you're good-
this
yeah.
young?
Come on.
But all right,
man.
we've been going for a little over half an hour now. We will let you take off and get on with the rest of your day, so I can edit this and get it out
You wanna drop your
before tomorrow.
socials and all that good stuff for us?
Yeah.
Follow me at Doing the Favor, but always follow my. You can follow. You can follow my personal account at EricBrown740, but always follow the Doing the Favor account at Doing the Favor. Also, follow my my heterosexual life partner, the Husky Heartthrob, at BFrost28. We don't really have anything to plug right now, so we're just kind of laying dormant. But yeah, give us a follow, man. Lots of content coming during football. At least out of the Twitter account.
For sure.
All right. With
All
that
right.
being said, let's go enjoy some football this weekend, fellas.
Yep.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, fellas.
Welcome back
Take
to
care.
the NFL. Thanks again for joining us. We'll talk to you next week, and
Recap week
yeah,
one.
we'll see what's going on.
Sounds good.
All right. Take
Peace.
care.